Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP. Welcome to the Game According to Me, a podcast where I talk about the things going on in the world of sports. Now, I missed last week because of the whole COVID stuff. But then, like that, they pushed games back to Tuesday night, like they did with doing last year. Pushed games back to Tuesday night. So I was going to get up Wednesday and do the podcast, then. But of course, I got up Wednesday and forgot because I'm not usually known for doing it on Wednesdays. I'm known for doing it on Tuesdays, and I forgot. So by the time I realized I had not done the podcast, it was like, well, it was too late. I'll just go ahead, skip that week, and I'll come back next week. So here I am. I'm back. Got a few things to talk about. What's going on in the NFL and the playoff picture, the NBA standings, and what's happening at the bowls of college football. So let's go ahead. Let's get right to it. Okay, so let's start with the bowl games. The bowl games that have been played. A couple have been postponed. So let's go back to December 17th. We had the Bahamas Bowl, Middle Tennessee and Toledo. Middle Tennessee won that 31-24. And the Cure Bowl in Atlanta, Florida, the Coastal Carolina beat Northern Illinois 47-41. That was a little controversy in that game. At the end of that game, they weren't allowed to challenge a call or something like that. Referee made a wrong call, so that one was not good. December 18th, Boca Raton Bowl, which Kentucky beat Appalachian State 89-38. Also December 18th. All these next few December 18th. I'll just say it like this. Fresno State beat UTEP in the New Mexico Bowl 31-24. In the Independence Bowl, UAB beat BYU 31-28. The Lending Tree Bowl, Liberty beat East Michigan 56-20. In the LA Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, Utah State beat Oregon State 24-13. In the New Orleans Bowl, Louisiana beat Marshall 36-21. On December 20th, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Tulsa beat Old Dominion 30-17. And December 21st, we'll start with the the famous Iowa Potato Bowl. Wyoming beat Kent State 52-38. The Frisco Bowl, San Diego State beat UTSA, University of Texas at San Antonio, 38-24. The Armed Forces Bowl, Army beat Missouri 24-22 on December 22nd. December 23rd, Frisco Classic. There's a Frisco Bowl, and then there's a Frisco Classic. Oh my Lord Jesus. Miami of Ohio beat North Texas 27-14. Gasparilla Bowl, you have the UCF beat Florida 29-17. On Christmas Eve, the Hawaii Bowl was canceled between Memphis and Hawaii. Hawaii had some COVID issues. On Christmas Day, the Camellia Bowl, Georgia State beat Ball State 51-20. December 27th, yesterday, the Quick Lane Bowl, Western Michigan, they beat on Nevada. But the Military Bowl between ECU and Boston College was canceled. So today we've got 5 more bowls happening today. The Birmingham Bowl, First Responder Bowl, Holiday Bowl, Liberty Bowl, and the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. So good ones coming up today. We have some good ones coming up tomorrow as well. The 30th and the 31st bowl. 31st bowl. On the 31st, we start the other bowls for the things. Yeah, 31st. Yeah, the Cotton Bowl and then the Orange Bowl. Now let's take a look at the NBA. all teams, all leagues have been dealing with COVID issues. Teams have, you know, forfeited some games. Some teams have not forfeited, but postponed games. Some teams have not. So, been very weird in the entire world of sports. But here, let's look at the Eastern Conference. Right now, we have the Nets on top at 22-9. The Bulls, my team, at 20-10. At number 2, the Bucks at 22-13 at 3. You got the Heat at 21-13 at 4. The Cavaliers, shockingly, up at the number 5 spot at 20-13. The Sixers are 17-16. The Wizards are 17-16. A little bit of a shock there as well. The Hornets are 17-17. And on the outside looking in, they'll be in the playoff. The two teams that will be in the playing tournament. The Celtics are at 16-17, and the Hawks are at 15-17 as well. Hawks are going through those issues right now. I don't know how many. Someone's thinking maybe the Bulls Hawks game was going to be postponed, but they were able to find some people. They got Trae Young back, and they played last night against the Bulls. Bulls defeated them, and then they'll play tomorrow night as well. Round out the rest of the Eastern Conference, Raptors are 11-14-16. The Knicks are at 15-18-12. Pacers are at 14-20 at 13. The Magic are 7-27-14, and then the Pistons. Charles Barkley was right. Charles Barkley said, those first 5-10 games, you don't know that you suck. That opening night game against the Bulls, they gave them hell almost, and Bulls almost didn't win that one, but they're now offered. They're 5-27, so that's going to be set. They're looking once again to try to get the number 1 draft pick again, find somebody to put next to Cade Cunningham. On the Western Conference, the Warriors are number 1 with 27-6. Suns are second with 26-6. The Jazz are third with 23-9. The Grizzlies are fourth with 20-14. The Clippers are fifth with 17-16. The Nuggets are sixth with 16-16. The Lakers are seventh with 16-18. The Mavericks are in eighth with 15-17. The other two playing spots. Number 9, the Timberwolves, also at 15-17, and the Spurs at 10 with 14-18. Rounding out the rest of the Western Conference, at 11, Trailblazers are 13-19. The Sacramento Kings are 12 with 13-21. The Thunder are 13 with 12-20. Pelicans are at 14th with 12-22, and the Rockets, surprisingly, went on a kind of a win streak for a little bit of time. They got up into the double digits. They're in win column, 10-23. So the Warriors are still doing their stuff without Klay Thompson and James Wiseman. Hope to get both of those guys back pretty soon in the new year. And as for the team, a lot of people thought the Lakers are just not it. And I think it's time that people, kind of realize what's going on with them, and maybe it's time for this whole whatever it is that this teaming up. Time for that to stop, because it's just not working. It's just not working. They try to bring in Westbrook, and they try to and they try to do all these other things, when really what they should have just done is they should have just kept the team that they had. If they wanted to sign Carmelo Anthony, okay, fine. They're gonna sign Carmelo Anthony. They should have re-signed Alex Caruso, who's now on my team, the Bulls. They should have kept a lot of those other things instead of trading for another star, because it's not working. It's not fitting in together. Obviously they've played 34 games, and it's just not feeling us. And I guess you could say, Antonio Davis is out for 4 weeks, with an MCL. sprain, knee sprain. So you guess you can say, well, we know what's happening, we know what's going on. There's still a lot of time here. They can get hot in the second half, and yes, they certainly can. But I gotta say something. I do not see them beating the Warriors, the Suns, maybe the Jazz, but I definitely don't see them beating the Warriors or the Suns. I really don't. But as good as LeBron James is, I just don't think it's gonna happen. So maybe it's time we stop doing the teaming up and trying to trade for all the stars and find teams, do what the Bulls did, and yeah, sure, maybe get you a star or two, but build you a team around it so that that team plays best. And that's the way to do it. And as always, we end this podcast with football, the professional leagues. This past Thursday, the Tennessee Titans and the 49ers went to battle. And the Titans ended up with a victory, 20-17. Hard-fought battle between both teams. Jimmy Garoppolo, unfortunately, dealing with a thumb injury. Who knows if he'll play or not. Trey Lance may get his opportunity to start once again. And maybe he'll look better than what he did in the first time he tried to start. On Christmas, there are two games. The Packers beat the Browns 24-22. Baker Mayfield threw 4 interceptions. I gotta tell you, if I'm Cleveland, Cleveland's already picked up Baker's 5th-year option. But I am, and so you gotta do what you gotta do. You give him that 5th year, but I am not signing him to an extension until he becomes more consistent quarterback. I mean, he doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be consistently great. If he can just be consistently good, just to be consistently good, then if I'm Cleveland, I'll be willing to talk extension. But I'm not gonna pay him, Josh Allen money. I'm just not. You're not even getting close. I don't think you're even getting $2 million, $200 million. You're just not. The most I would pay Baker Mayfield if he were to next year, so that he's consistently good, it would be like 7 years, $140 million, $20 million a year. Maybe 70, maybe half of that guaranteed. Otherwise, no, you can go on. We'll find somebody else. Also, Christmas evening, the Colts beat the Cardinals 22-16. The Cardinals have really rolled down a molehill as of late. The only team they beat was my Bears. The Colts they're starting to get hot with the help of Jonathan Taylor. So that's good. Now we head to Sunday's action. The Falcons beat the Lions 20-16. The Rams beat the Vikings 30-23. The Jets beat the Jaguars 26-21. The Eagles beat the Giants 34-10. The Eagles are surging as of late as well. The Bills beat the Patriots 33-21. The Bengals shut out the Ravens 41-21. Joe Burrow thrown for over 500 yards, 525 to be exact, 37 or 47, something like that, or 37 or 48, whatever it was. It was incredible. Incredible day. The Texans upset the Chargers 41-29. Buccaneers beat the Panthers 32-6. Bears beat the Seahawks 25-24 in a blizzard of some sorts, or at least maybe not blizzard, but a whole bunch of snow. Only the third game in Seattle where there's been snow. So, but it happens and it's fun. Great game. The Raiders beat the Broncos 17-13. The Chiefs beat the Steelers 36-10. Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys beat the football team 56-14. It got so bad that the people on the football team were fighting with each other. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Those are guys that are from both Alabama, and I guess maybe some talk about maybe they weren't even close in Alabama. They was fighting in Alabama, so this things flared up, and that's just how it's going to be, I guess. The Dolphins beat the Saints 20-3 last night on Monday Night Football. Saints started Aiden Book, and unfortunately, it just went all downhill. It's unfortunate. The Saints, this COVID and and injuries this year, anything like that. The Saints have, they have a big thing to go. They went with, they signed Taysom Hill to a monster contract, and so who knows? It's all, and a lot of money is based on him being a quarterback. Taysom Hill wants to be a quarterback. I think Taysom Hill could be a quarterback. He could be a very decent one. But then there's always that thing that, back in Seattle, was Russell Wilson. And the Saints were one of the teams that he would have been interested to take a trade to. So we're going to see how this offense goes. And then James Winston, he wasn't playing all that great, when he got injured early in the year. So who knows about him? So it's going to be interesting to see what the Saints do next year at the quarterback position. Now, we take a look. Well, actually, let's take a look at the upcoming games. The Giants and the Bears, the Jaguars and the Patriots, the Rams and the Ravens. That should be a very interesting one. We'll see if the Ravens get back Lamar Jackson. The Buccaneers and the Jets, the Falcons and the Bills. Bills have to keep it continued. They can't let up. They can't have, they won 2 straight games in wood. They can't now let the Falcons come into their house and beat them up. Let's not do that. Chiefs and the Bengals should be a very interesting game. The Bengals and the Chiefs. Maybe it's just. I wonder if this could be another high-scoring matchup between the two. And speaking of that, the Dolphins have won 7 straight. They're going to Tennessee to face the Titans. Yes. Raiders and the Colts. Raiders, they beat the Raiders are still in it. The Colts are still in it too. The Colts are looking to, keep their momentum going. The Eagles and the football team, they just played 2 weeks ago. Are they playing again? We'll see if Washington can come back off of this butt whooping the Cowboys gave them. Broncos and the Chargers are playing again. A lot of matchups, and stakes for playoff spots. Texas and 49ers, Lions and the Seahawks, Cardinals and the Cowboys. That should be a very interesting one. Panthers and the Saints, Vikings and the Panthers on Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football, the Browns at the Steelers. Now we take a look at the playoff picture. Starting with the AFC, the Chiefs have won the division, so they have clinched a playoff spot. They're the number 1 seed right now. For the rest, we have the Titans, who are in the 2 seed, leaders in the AFC South. The Bengals, who are the 3 seed, leaders in the AFC North, and the Bills, who are the 4 seed, leaders in the AFC East. And then the wild cards, the 5th seed, the Colts, the 6th seed, the Patriots, and the 7th seed, the Miami Dolphins. And then just look at all of this. We have on the bubble, we have 6 more teams: the Chargers, who are 8-7, the Raiders, who are 8-7, the Ravens, who are 8-7, the Steelers, who are 7-1, the Browns, who are 7-8, and the Broncos, who are also 7-8. All on the bubble. So, I'm telling you, there can be a lot of things. I think it's, this might come down to the final week without question. We got the final week is going to be insane sort of thing because we have a lot of we have the total revisional games. Games like the Steelers and the Ravens, Bengals and the Browns. We got the Patriots and the Dolphins. We got the Titans, the Chargers and the Raiders. We got the 49ers and the Rams, Chiefs and Broncos, the Cowboys, Eagles, all of these things. Let's look at the NFC. The Packers have clinched the division, 12-3. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. Cowboys are the number 2 seed. They've clinched the division as well, 11-4. The Rams have clinched a playoff spot. They are 11-4. At number 3, the Buccaneers have clinched a playoff spot. They are 11-4. They also clinched the division. And the Cardinals have clinched a playoff spot. They are in the fifth spot at 10-5. In the hunt, the 49ers are 8-7 in the 6th spot, and the Eagles are 8-7 in the 7th spot. Outside looking in, the Vikings on the 8th seed, 7-8. The Falcons are also 7-8 in the 9th spot. The Saints are 7-8 in the 10th spot, and the Washington football team still technically in it, I guess. It's 6-9. So obviously at the 11th spot. So obviously they would need to win their next 2 games, and they would need a whole bunch of help from a whole bunch of other people to get into that. I guess that final spot, that final 7th spot. I don't even know if they could even make the 6th spot, but listen, they have to do their own, but they have to win, and they got the Eagles coming up this week. So whatever the deal is, the playoffs are looking very wide open in the AFC, but they seem to be more compact in the NFC. So we'll wait to see what happens, how this playoff picture looks after next week, and see if anything has changed. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for the end of this podcast. Once again, I apologize for missing last week's podcast, but stuff happens. So we've got a couple more weeks, a couple more weeks left. So let's see. I think we got 2 weeks left for the regular season. I think apparently they're gonna have a Monday Night Football game for the wild card, for wild card weekend. So I think the next 3 podcasts will be on Tuesday, and then once you get into the divisional round, podcast will be on Monday. I'll get up do it early. I'll get up and do it Monday, and so the podcast will be on Monday and everything like that. And as we know, things like that all the way until the Super Bowl. So. And speaking of Monday, January 10th, my other podcast starts. From the mind of AJTRIP. You can make sure you're not going to want to miss it. I may talk sports there, but it's more going to be just about things about me and things about other things going on in the world that I feel the need to talk about. So you can make sure that you are there. Always make sure you're always checking my socials and checking my YouTube channel and things like that to make sure to keep up wherever you can find me. So yeah, if you feel like supporting your boy, make sure you go to anchor.fm/AJTRIP show, and you can go there and for 3 tiers, 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. You can help support your boy. You can also go to patron.com/AJTRIP to become a patron. Once you hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you will see on my YouTube channel and what you will hear on my new podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.